You know, people think rehab and they see all these images of people with like the harnesses walking and, you know, like, oh, you know, the Rocky music. You know, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna kick ass for 7 months, I'm gonna do the best job that anyone's ever seen, you know, I'm gonna be that guy. But sometimes it's not like that. My name is Scott. I'm from Gympie in Queensland. On December 2nd, 2016, I broke my C5 vertebrae in my neck, leaving me an incomplete quadriplegic. It was Friday afternoon, and I said to a friend of mine from work, I was like, hey, let's go to the beach, or, you know, let's go kick the footy or something like that. And he said, yeah, sweet. I went to dive very shallow into a gutter, because I've grown up around the beach. I know that you don't dive down because you'll hit your head. And then just bang, it was like a lightning bolt just went off. It was just this crack, because I was under the water as well. I was thinking, oh, I'll be all right, you know, must be like spinal shock or something, and I'll just shake it off and get up in a second and I'll be okay, but I think we'll go home now, sort of thing. And then the next 5 seconds I was like, okay, well, this is a really sad way to die. And I just thought about Angie and how sad it would be. Like, and then I didn't get to the next 5-second phase of thought processes because Angie ripped me out of the water. She'd seen the whole thing.
He just said, I can't move my arms or my legs. And I just thought he was joking, and I was just keeping his head up and screaming and calling for people to help us.
But she called them all over, and one was luckily a nurse. So she was straight into spinal precautions and things like that. And then, yeah, they pulled me out of the water, and I laid on the beach for about an hour.
When we got to the hospital, the first thing they did was they said, we're going to take you for an MRI, but depending how long that takes, because obviously it came in emergency, we might just take him straight for surgery. And I said, what do you mean surgery? We don't even know what's wrong yet. And she was like, well, he's paralysed, he's quadriplegic. And I was like, how, you don't know that, could be anything, could be so many things, and it was just a whole different story there. So that was pretty hard wake-up call, I guess, but yeah, it was just full on from then, I suppose.
Let's just do this. Okay. Let's do this.
Alright, okay. My name is Jackie. I'm a physiotherapist in the Royal Rehab Spinal Cord Injury Unit. A spinal cord injury, it's such a catastrophic injury, and it essentially changes the way that someone does everything, especially if someone's at a level as high as Scott.
You know, when someone tells you that you're never going to move anything below your neck ever again, and then you get to a point where you feel good, and then we start on the functional task, and it's like, all right, let's roll over. And it is impossible. It is physically impossible at the start, but then as you get stronger and you hone your technique and you learn the little tricks, and you start to be able to achieve those things, it's massive.
Good, so that's you shifting the weight there, Scott. Good, I reckon when you're ready. Yep. So just bend this forehand so he gets a little, and then just prevent any straightening or bending, so he's got a good anchor point. Now use this more than that on this side. Good, go. Yep, you got it, keep going. Good, head forwards and around. There you go. Well done. Good.
That's what I was having trouble with. I'd get so happy, and I'm like, yeah. And then that little voice in the back of my head is like, dude, you just rolled over assisted. Like, how are you happy about that? But you really got to cut that out, and you just really do have to be happy with the tiny little goals that you do achieve. So who helped me where then?
I did I'd say minimum assist to get you into the role. Otherwise, your shifting was yourself.
Yeah. You were just putting a little bit of pressure on my elbow to help me move my elbow.
Slide,
yeah.
And to get up, I just carried your weight for you to get this arm to the place, and then it was you.
And I had my hand there so if your elbow did go, that it wouldn't go anywhere.
So I was just doing a little bit of this. I was over here just doing a little bit of this one.
No, but that's
I'll take
honest.
it. I'll take it.
But I think to be...
You guys can come for sleepovers.
Seriously, 4 weeks ago, this stuff crushed me. Like, did not have a chance of doing any of this. Physically, or, I was literally on the plinth just crying because I was like, how is this ever going to happen?
We just got to remember that someone of your level doesn't achieve these tasks until almost a year plus down the track. So we're working towards it and you'll get there.
Yeah.
It's just, you've got to remember it takes time.
Yeah. That's all good. I like that. We'll be fine.
Cool. Yeah, we'll be fine. What I love most about spinal cord injury units is everybody's focused on the client. That's the end goal. Everybody wants the same thing, which is what the client wants to achieve. You have goal planning meetings together, team meetings or family conferences, because that's their opportunity to voice what they want out of their rehabilitation.
When I was down and when I was upset, talking about it is the best thing that you can do, because if you just sit there and mull on it, things... they escalate quickly.
You did really well though.
I feel I'm going backwards.
You're definitely not going backwards. What makes you think you're going backwards?
I just feel I'm going backwards.
If I felt you were going backwards, it would be a conversation to have with you about whether things are realistic. But I'm not feeling the need to have that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Like I don't know. Same as that. Like, it just seems so far away.
We're very fortunate on the spinal injury unit because everyone has access to a clinical psychologist, but where clients sometimes get the most benefit is from talking to someone that's experienced an injury themselves. So Scott really took from peer support. Cal, his recreational therapist, took him out to the wheelchair rugby, which is something that he talked time and time again that was such an important part of his rehabilitation and his mental health.
When it initially happens, the accident, you just lose everything. Like, everything's just, can't move anything. I had nothing from my neck down, essentially. And the last thing you think is that, oh, it's okay, in 3 months I'll be able to play sport, or at least be on the court while other people are playing sport around me, and 8 months down the track now, and I feel like I have a role on the court, and I'm able to, look forward to it, and I'm surrounded by a bunch of guys who have been there and done that, and they've got so many tips and tricks, and their attitudes are just so good toward everything, and everything's just so normal, like the boys drive themselves there, and you see them come in and you look at it the first time and think, there is no way I will ever be able to do that. But just every single week you go there and you get a little bit faster and a little bit better, and now I think, I'll get there. It'll just take me a while. So it's like a view into the future, and it's good. It's better than what you think when you're sitting in the corner of your room alone by yourself anyway.
Scott was very busy because of the person that Scott is. He wanted to return to everything quickly, and he was so dedicated and determined to do that. And that's credit to him, but also credit to Angie in being such a good support system for him.
Can you tell us a bit about how amazing Angie's been throughout all?
No.
A lot about?
I really can't. I'll just start crying immediately. I almost am now. God. Yeah, I almost feel like it's unfair to hear my story, because I have her. It's like cheating. Yeah, like every day. She hasn't missed a day. Neither have I though, so. Every morning she walks in, comes in, turns the fairy lights on, opens the windows, just goes about doing her thing, and she's put her entire life on hold for me. But it hasn't even really been that. We've just been able to hang out every day, and it's been awesome.
Who's ready for some nudity?
Ew. I'll try and try. Yeah,
Did you see me push myself up though?
That was massive.
What?
That was from totally flat.
Yeah. Basically one arm push up, mate. I've got Angie ahead by a fingernail. No, you got it. She just sneaks in here. When I was little, she sneaks in.
We get sad when she has to leave at night. You know, and she puts it off, and all of a sudden it's 11 o'clock and she's like, ooh, you know, and her dad comes and picks her up, and, you know, which is so helpful. But I can't even, for me to just say that she has done everything would be an understatement, you know, so thank you.
Their first kiss as husband and wife.